Hey guys, Solar here, back again with another review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends fan channel exclusive, the best kind, right? She-Hulk, and for those of you who are like, oh, that looks familiar, well, you'd be right. It was part of the Fantastic Four Super Skrull wave last year, but she was a bit gray looking. Not gonna lie. That was the gray version. This is the green version. And while the gray version had some cool green blood splattering going on, particularly on the legs, this one doesn't appear to have that. Or at least it blends in a lot more because she's green. But this is She-Hulk, or Hulk, because I believe that's what the comic is called now. Which isn't that big a deal to me. I know some people have a problem with that, but it's no different than when Jane Foster became Thor. She was just known as Thor. I mean, okay, but at any rate, getting into the meat and tater, she does come with that same head that the gray version had, which I will not be popping onto this figure. I'll get into that in a moment. But you can see she's very, very not happy to be here. Or she's just mad because she's a floating head. And she comes with an alternate set of choke you out hands. So that is it as far as accessories go. I kind of wish we got more crushed pipes. What do you guys think? Taking a closer look at her. The reason I am not going to be popping that other head on is because Mr. Brian, aka my dad, was cool enough to let me review this. So this head will stay on, which is really the head of focus here because it's new. The other one we've seen before, this one we haven't. She's a little bit more calmed down, although that doesn't really go with her outfit, which is, well, what you'd expect to see someone wearing at a thrash metal concert, but that's besides the point. Very nice anatomy on this figure. I always like this figure's anatomy. It seems like they might have switched the arms out to the correct sides. Don't quote me on that. I can't really tell. But the arms on the gray version, I think, were on the incorrect sides, according to a lot of the reviews I saw, but I could be wrong. But as far as her articulation goes, since you guys pretty much seen this quite a few times, her head does rotate. I don't know if it's on a hinge or not. I think it is, but you're not going to get a lot out of it. Kind of has a big forehead going on there, which is something you don't really notice on this head with the windswept hair. Maybe a little bit, but not a lot. Her shoulders go out to the side pretty far. About that far. They go back down. They rotate forward and back. She has a bicep swivel. Single joint at the elbow, which gives you more than 90, which is fair. She does have rotation here as well. I'm not sure why they gave her a bicep cut, if they gave her rotation here too, but it's whatever. And then her hands all rotate and have the in and out hinges on them. So that's pretty standard stuff there. Her diaphragm joint is pretty good. You can get some good forward out of it. Get decent enough back. Some tilt side to side. And it does also rotate. No way swivel because of that. Hips will kick forward, back, out, in. I think they were tighter on the first release, but again, don't quote me on that. I can't actually get to that figure right now. I'm not entirely sure where it's at. I know it's on my Avengers shelf, but it's buried behind stuff I've gotten out for other reviews. Oh, there's that. But she does have a thigh cut that works pretty good. Double joint at the knee, which again works pretty good. And then she has a single hinge in the foot. I mean, they all do. That's stupid. And a rocker with some peg holes at the bottom of her feet. But she could stand fine without any assistance. But if you wanted to put a stand on her, you could. But as far as this figure goes, I wouldn't be surprised if we see this head and these arms on a classic style She-Hulk. I would say maybe the upper body, because this shirt seems to be a separate piece that's glued on. There might be a naked buck under that. And that would be it. Because the pants kind of, they can't reuse this because of the pants. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do get a classic She-Hulk at some point. I wouldn't be surprised if they already have a mold kind of sculpted and whatnot, because chances are they had to make a basic version of this before they added all the extra texture and detail and whatnot, which I have to say they did a really good job with this body. This was one of the better Legends to come out of that year, I think, which would have been 2019, because that's when people were really starting to get that Fantastic Four wave. Probably one of the better female figures Hasbro's given us, too. So with that being said, let's take a look at some comparisons. First up here is the new-ish, anyways, She-Hulk next to a couple other Marvel Legends figures. We have Shriek from the Armadillo wave, who is, I think for the most part, going to be the standard female Buck from now on. She is pinless, but she is about the same height as the Rogues and the Jean Greys and the Black Cats we've gotten in the past. So there you go. As you can see, She-Hulk absolutely towers over this standard size female Buck, which is appropriate for the character. And then we also have Ultron from the Ursa Major wave, just to give you an idea of how she scales with a more, I don't know if I'd say basic, but closer to average size male Buck. You can see she is a little bit taller than him as well, which also makes sense, so I'm happy with that. Up next, here she is next to a couple more larger scale Marvel Legends figures. We have the PulseCon exclusive Venom as he appeared in the Spider-Man animated series. This is of course on the Omega Red body, so he is about the same height as She-Hulk here, which I'm not sure if that's appropriate or not. I always see She-Hulk as a little bit taller than Venom, but in this case I guess I'll let that slide. And then we have the Target exclusive Red Hulk, which utilizes that 80th anniversary Hulk body mold, which we've also seen on Grey Hulk, Maestro, and the Comic-Con exclusive Hulk from the same year that 80th anniversary one came out. And as you can see, he's a lot bigger than She-Hulk. I mean, I know it's a dude Hulk, but holy crap. There's also a Compound Hulk out, I guess. That looks kind of cool. It's pretty much just a repaint of this, but even still, I kind of want it. But yeah, I guess that's alright. I think She-Hulk maybe could be a little bit taller next to the male Hulks, but as far as other figures go, I think she works alright. And last but certainly not least, we have our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus and the 11 Spawn. And for once, Spawn doesn't tower over everything on screen, so good on you, She-Hulk. But with that being said, time to wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and I know this figure may not have been everyone's cup of tea the first time around when she was available in all gray, I think this one might suit a lot of people's collections a little better because it is the traditional green. Yeah, it's not the classic costume, but I do think we will see some reuse of this figure on a more classic style She-Hulk, probably in the near to distant future, maybe even with some pinless legs. How about that? But if you are interested in picking this figure up, I believe she's still available on all kinds of online retailers like BBTS, Entertainment Earth, Sure Thing Toys. GameStop, I think, is carrying her, and several other places. Dorkside, I think, has her as well. So, really easy to get. That's probably the best thing about this figure and fan channel exclusives in general. Typically, they are super easy to get a hold of. And I couldn't be happier to say that because we've had a lot of BS with Target this year. And it's nice to have a few that we didn't have to go through all that trouble to get, right? Right, so with that being said, I would highly recommend you pick this up if you are a Hulk fan like yours truly, or you just like cool looking action figures, because I think this one fits the bill. It's not the classic look, but it's not bad either. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and if you are so inclined, please hit that notification bell so you know whenever I upload more reviews like this one, because we got to show that algorithm who's boss, right? If you haven't already, hit me up on Instagram at Overlord Productions. But as always, please keep the comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.